Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to the second part in the short series about making a ripping psychedelic trance lead. In the last video, we looked at using MIDI and a few different processes, expanding it across the octaves, using portamento, varying the note length, to start getting it sounding interesting and start taking along that road. Today, we're going to jump into the synth, start automating things, and hopefully take it to the next level. Let's check it out. Okay, so here's what we came up with last time. Alright, now before I move on, I'm just going to expand that. I'm going to duplicate it 4 times. So we now have 8 bars there. So as I mentioned before, getting really sort of 3-dimensional, interesting psychedelic leads really is a multi-stage process. We've got a decent patch, we've got some nice MIDI, but we need to actually now start getting into the synth and start automating the parameters to really take it to the next level. And for me, this is probably my favorite part, where we can really have a lot of fun. It means we get to really delve in there. Cubase users, I've got edit VST instrument set to E in the key commands, which is really cool. And I can also bring up the channel settings using Shift E. So just a little shortcut there. Okay, so honestly, I don't have like a prepared list of knobs I'm going to tweak. This part of the process is all about getting to know the synth and just experimenting and getting into the playground and just turning stuff and seeing what happens. Let's try playing around with the filter. We're still in the default filter settings here. I mean, that's already going to get us some great results. So as soon as I find a knob sounds good, I'm just going to write in some automation. Not try to overthink it, just hit write and start jamming. There you go. After doing a pass, I'm just going to go in there and make some quick edits, because I noticed that when it went really low, you just couldn't hear it. So we could get it quicker to dive down at the start there. Another shortcut I've got up here is next grid type. It's actually previous grid type, and I've got that set to A. Great for scrolling through quantize. And so as I'm adjusting these filter settings, I'm really trying to bring that sort of living quality to the sounds, you know, that thing which to me makes it psychedelic, that sort of makes it sound like it's alive and sort of speaky. That could have risen up a bit. Could get a few more higher bits as well. It's in danger of all being a little bit too similar. I'm also thinking we could actually emphasize the start of every bar by just having a higher filter position. So kind of marking out the start of each bar with these higher filter just makes it more consistent to the listener. Alright, so already sounding cool, and we've barely even done anything. Let's see how the resonance plays out. Maybe just short bursts of that one. There you go. There's a few bits in there as well, which I should probably edit out. I'm just doing short edits. Wicked. And let's just keep on going. Okay, so before I even move on, I'm just going to bounce out what I've got. I think it's really good to just print out things when they're sounding good. So let me come in here and just going to bounce it in. There we have it down there. It's also quite nice to see that it's dynamic, but it's not jumping out all over the place, which is always nice to see. I'm going to go ahead and stick that in its own folder, and I'm going to mute everything in that folder for now. I'll just call it synth audio. So we'll just carry on with the fun. Now these wavetable knobs can provide a lot of interesting possibilities. So again, just going to run in there, see what happens. You can see I've already got one of those on LFO2. Yeah, that sounds cool. This D2 knob, that sounded interesting. We're bouncing it out every time it sounds good, so we have previous versions. So let's just hit right, see what happens. Just gives it an interesting sort of stereo sound. I'm actually going to give this automation a different color just to differentiate it a bit. Again, I think the timing could have been changed. Now, something I like to do actually is get a bit of automation and then just copy that. So I liked the second two bars of automation, but I wasn't so hot on the first. Just nice and simple. It's just a little extreme. So I'm going to bring those down just like that. Awesome. Okay, so what next? We could try some different filters. And I generally like to turn the drive up just to give it a bit of grit. Okay, interesting. Maybe I'll turn that envelope off. Let's see if that's... Okay, so we'll do a pass on that. Alright, sounding cool. Definitely a place I'd go ahead and export that. Maybe we'll try one more filter. So the phaser filter is definitely sounding interesting, so let's just go ahead and do a bounce on that. And I always have to give the format a go. So much fun. And I'll try bringing the octaves down for this, because I find these do sound good on the lower octaves. I'm actually just going to turn off the format filter I've already got going, just so there's not too much format on top of itself. Bring this detune down. It's getting a bit wide now. I find that having less unison can give it more of a direct sound.
What I feel when we're together, brighter than a lucky penny. When you're near, that rain just disappears, dear, and that feels so fine. Just to know that you are mine. My life is sunshine, lollipops, and
always so hard to choose, but let's... So I'm going to do a pass now of the format filter. I'm actually going to play around with the distortion and see how that interacts with this filter. So I often find that the bit crushing and format filters go quite well together because they both give it this sort of talky feeling, which can bounce off each other quite nicely. So I'm going to actually automate both the format filter and the bit crusher. But what I shouldn't be doing is listening in solo. Remember, no one will ever hear it in solo, so there's no point in making stuff anything in solo. Okay, check out work. Give it a check. Okay. Okay, now before I move on, I'm going to actually go back to our original filter, the low 12, because it just has more of a solid sound. And I'm also going to take a look at the mix on this distortion, as I just don't want it to be too overbearing. And I'll bring the octaves back up again as well, so we're at our original pitch. I might even give it a bit more crush with the compressor, just to keep it a little bit more consistent. I'm going to try taking it off the multiband setting to see how that sounds. We'll turn the format back on. Okay, so that's sounding pretty cool, and honestly we could just sit here all day doing interesting automation takes, but let's make this the last one for now. Okay, so we delved into the synth and found some interesting controls and did some simple recording passes on those. Got some automation down, layered up a whole bunch of channels. We got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 channels of automation, and it wouldn't even be unusual to get 8, 9, 10, automating almost every effect in there until the whole synth is just an army of moving modulating controls. And we got a nice collection of synth parts here now, our own little sample pack to chop up and go through in the next video. So hope you've enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, and that concludes the second part in this series on making psychedelic trance leads. Today we generated a lot of interesting material, which is down in our folder there. And in the third part of the series, we're going to go in there, start getting out our scissors tool, ripping it up, putting some effects on it, do a bit of processing, and really take it to the next level. So hope you've enjoyed today. Go check out that next video.
Music.